Hi, welcome to Key to Travel. I am your girl Key. If this is your first time with us, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And if you just slid by, saw the title, decide to click on welcome, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today we talk about all this craziness that's going on with travel, because you know Key to Travel, we love to talk about travel over here and a little bit of lifestyle. So today we're gonna go ahead. I didn't film this video 3 times, y'all, with no volume. How about that? So this time it's a charm, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, see what I mean? It's just been bloopers all day, and guess what? It's gonna stay in because this is my 3rd time, and I went to go ahead and edit, and it had no volume, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So 4th time it's a charm, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with y'all so we can go ahead and listen to all this travel craziness, y'all. So let me back it up a little bit. Get y'all popcorn, sit back and relax, because we're going to listen and react to all this mess. And we're going to talk about it. And if I don't come back to just talk to y'all when it's over, I'll see y'all in my next country. But other than that, let's go ahead and check it out, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do it.
The U.S. State Department just issued that worldwide travel caution to all Americans who are planning to leave the United States. Now, this caution comes on the heels of the war in Iran, the growing crisis in the Middle East, and everything associated with that. However, this worldwide travel caution is not just for anyone who's going to the Middle East. It's for all of us. I'm viewing this as a do not panic, more of an awareness raising concern than it is a do not panic. And it's certainly not an alert to do not travel. That's not what the State Department has said. It is raising the flags, if you will, for everything that's happening and the growing sentiments around Americans around the world. So I'm not going to stop my travel plans. I'm not saying anyone should go or shouldn't go. That decision is yours. However, if you are going anywhere, I want you to exercise caution like you do anyway. But you're going to pay a little bit more attention to those travel alerts and pay attention what's happening to the destination in which you're traveling from. We have summer coming up, lots going on. Let's not cancel anything yet. Everyone, let's move forward with our plans, live our lives, and we'll try to do so more safely.
And
the U.S. State Department just...
I didn't even pause her. That is my segment. Exactly, y'all. Don't be scared. Just be aware. Have your plan A, plan B, and plan C. Don't be late for your airport. Know what your airlines have in place in case they do cancel your flights. What you can do to get which way you can get to your final destination. Another way, with them or without them. Yeah, that's all. Just live life. Don't be scared to live,
Issue that worldwide travel caution to...
Did your flight just get cancelled? It's happening more often now because of shrinking jet fuel supplies due to the war in the Middle East. Here's what you can do. For starters, most of these cancellations as of now aren't happening at the last minute. They usually happen days or weeks in advance. The first thing you should do is check your airline's app or website immediately for rebooking options. Airlines will typically offer a refund or rebook you on the next available flight. Airlines may offer travel credits instead, but you're entitled to a full refund of airfare and any extras you didn't use, such as baggage fees or seat upgrades. To file a claim, save everything from boarding passes to cancellation notices. In general, to avoid getting stuck, book flights earlier in the day so you have more rebooking options if something goes wrong. Also, set up flight alerts through tracking apps like Flighty to get early notice of cancellations or delays. Safe travels.
All right, guys, travel news update. So if you've got a holiday planned, you're probably a bit scared right now thinking, oh my God, it's going to be cancelled. They're running out of fuel and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of misinformation online. So I'm going to read what
you can't be scared to live, y'all.
Gov.uk have put up recently, and hopefully it'll reassure you. So I think one of the EU ministers said that we only had 6 weeks of fuel left, and I think that's what was scaring everybody. On the Gov site, it says that UK airlines are clear that they are not currently seeing a shortage of jet fuel. They normally buy in advance, so they've got a supply of stock. So one of the main questions people are asking are, do they need to change their travel plans? There's no current need to change upcoming travel plans. The government are meeting, talking, and monitoring risks. So for now, it's okay. So how's the government protecting passengers? So these 3 points here, if you meet all 3 of them, then under the UK law and our flight is cancelled, we're entitled to either a full refund or to be booked onto an alternative flight. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Obviously there are...
And the US has the same type of things, because if you cancel, they have to give you a full refund in the United States. Look at your airline.
Our flights being cancelled, and that's because the jet fuel price is going up. not because we don't have any jet fuel left. Anyway, I'll bring you more news as it comes in. All right, guys.
United Airlines just announced flight prices are increasing by up to 20%. Jet fuel prices have doubled, and fuel is one of the biggest costs for airlines. And when that spikes, ticket prices usually follow suit. So, United is raising fares
That's exactly what they want y'all to believe.
on certain routes to
weight and extra baggage fees are also jumping by $50. WestJet says the increase is tied to industry revenue trends and ongoing global economic pressures. The airline joins Air Canada, which recently raised baggage fees as well, and the move comes as airline faces higher operating costs, including rising fuel prices and reducing flight capacity. Frequent flyers with WestJet rewards will still receive a small discount on prepaid baggage fees. For Long Story Short TV, I'm Mahalia Long. WestJet is increasing checked bag fees starting today, adding more costs for travelers.
Are you guys gonna pay for my flight home? No, like literally, my flight leaves. It was supposed to leave at 7:55 p.m. from New Orleans.
I have to tell y'all something about Southwest checked bag fee, but I don't want y'all to all jump me at the same time. Y'all have to promise y'all won't jump me at the same time. You ready? So, our first checked bag fee is $35. Starting for anything booked on April 9th or after is going up to $45.
We ain't gonna beat you, girl. You just a messenger.
I'm just the messenger. I am just the messenger. So our first bag is going up to $45, and the second bag is going up to $55. You can check it for yourself. Go to southwest.com. Like you're booking a trip, go to the bottom where it says updated check bag policies and additional fees. Scroll down. It's right there. I'm sorry. Just the messenger. Southwest check bag fee, but I don't want y'all to all jump me at the same time. Y'all have to promise y'all won't jump me at the same time.
If somebody asks you to switch seats
Okay, wait,
on
hold
an
up,
airplane-
y'all. Before I start this one, I got a small little thing to tell y'all. A small little story. It's not a story time, it's a story time. Okay, because it's not a full story time. But anyway, me and hubby got on the plane. Before I play this one so y'all can understand why I'm giving him the side out, okay? Me and hubby got on the plane, okay? I don't know what I was thinking, but it was flight. It had seat A and B and seat E and F, all right? And no, D and F and A and C. That's what it was. It was because it only had 2 seats, right? A and C and D and F. That's how I went. So I booked the seats, and what I did was I put me in C. Wait, it was A and C. Yeah, I put me in C, and I put hubby, because he always get a window seat, D. I put him in D. I put me in C and I put him in D, thinking we were going to be right next to each other. I don't know why I was thinking that, but that's what I thought. But when in actuality, what happened was the window seat on my side was A and the window seat on the other side was D, right? And so when we got on, there was somebody sitting in F. That's what it was, the D and F and A and C. Somebody else was sitting in F. And, because there was just 2 seats. So when I sat down in my seat, I was like, oh, shoot. Hubby was behind me with the bags. They had a young lady that was standing there because she was trying to get her bag and stuff together, putting up the overhead bin or whatever. And I said, excuse me, because nobody had made it to this other seat yet. And I said, excuse me, do you mind if me and you switch seats? Because my husband has the window seat over there, and I'm thinking he has the window seat over here, but he has the window seat over there. Do you mind if we switch? And she said, no, this is my seat and I paid for it. I'm not switching. No. I said, you'll still have an aisle seat because I have an aisle seat. You'll have an aisle seat. It's 2 seats, right? And she said, no, I paid for this seat. I'm not switching my seats. And I would have understood if I was trying to give her a seat way in the back or something. We were sitting right there. And she was like, no, I don't switch my seat. I paid for my seat. I'm not switching my seat. So I was like, okay, but my husband is sitting up. I don't care. I'm not switching my seat. So hubby was like, I'm gonna just get in or whatever, and we gonna see if the other person on this side will switch. Well, the flight attendant happened to be standing right in the row in front of us, and she was like, "Ma'am, there's nobody sitting in the window seat that, you're the row that you're sitting on. So, your husband is, more than welcome to sit next to you on that side." And so he was like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." My husband was like, "Thank you, I appreciate it." But she didn't have to do all that. So nevertheless, that's why I'm going to side out this guy right here. But let's go ahead because, I didn't take up 3 minutes of our time to explain all that because I was a little disturbed at the time. But let's go.
Just say no, because these people do not have good intentions. And I just got home from an early AM flight where somebody asked to switch seats with me, and it did not end the way you expect it would. You see, I normally take these early AM flights. Excuse the bedhead, I got up at like 4 AM for this flight because the airports are not crowded. You get on the plane, get your seat, pop in an AirPod, close your eyes, and you're home. You just fall asleep for the entire flight. But this flight, I get on board, take my window seat, pop in my AirPod, close my eyes, and I wake up to a tap on the shoulder. And I'm confused because I don't know anybody on this flight. And I look at the person, and it's a grown man, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind switching seats with me?" And my first thought is that he wants the window seat. I usually take the aisle seat because I'm like pretty tall, but this was the only seat available. And so I'm actually curious, like if he has the aisle seat, like I'll switch. And I'm like, "Oh, are you sitting in the aisle?" And he goes, "No, I'm actually sitting way up there, like row 12. You're actually gonna be like way closer to getting off of the plane than you are now when like the plane lands. I just want to sit back here with my kids. We just weren't able to get seats together." There's no one in these seats. There are no kids next to this guy. And I'm just like, "Oh, like where are your kids?" And he goes, "Why do you care? Like, do you want to switch seats with me or not?" It's too early to like already start getting aggressive with somebody. I'm genuinely asking where his kids are, because if they're on this flight and if somebody asks you to switch seats with them on an airplane.
Let me turn my microphone back on, y'all. I just felt he was tired. He didn't want to move, and he probably saw them children. He just didn't want to help them children, but I digress. In actuality, you shouldn't switch seats, but if you try to help somebody, y'all, people do the most. I don't know, it's just me. I digress. Let's move.
Bad to really bad to worse at Newark Airport. And if you're flying in and out of Newark or know someone it is anytime soon, you're going to want to listen to this message and share this information with them. So first things first, last week I reported there was going to be a runway out of commission for repair until the end of June. Okay, so that was going to cause some delays, but things took a really bad turn last week. So there were delays at the airport all week long into the weekend, and they're expected to continue. And that is due to an air traffic control shortage and staff walkouts over technological issues. So let me give you some of the information. United Airlines has cut 35 daily flights, which is about 10% of their capacity out of Newark Airport. Their CEO came out and did a whole thing or announced it. The delays, the average delay last week for incoming flights was 2 hours for incoming flights, and departing flights was 45 minutes. So you have the makings of chaos at Newark Airport, which is already a tough airport to fly in and out of. So let's recap. We have a down runway. We have bad to really bad to worse at Newark Airport.
I should know better. It makes no sense to buy good luggage because it's only going to get tore up anyway. So I went on a trip a month ago and I didn't use my luggage cover. I didn't think I was going to need it, and I wish I would have. So this time I did use the luggage cover for my check bag. You should see the luggage cover. I'm so glad I used it, but it makes me.
It don't even matter no more these days, y'all, because they tear up. I mean, seriously, it looks like I've been lucky, y'all, that they haven't, literally had my stuff, because I didn't saw somebody bag be totally destroyed, and there's stuff coming out with a note on it with a garbage bag full of their stuff because their suitcase is torn up. Y'all, you can't win.
Feel like, why not just get a cheap piece of luggage? Because it's just gonna get tore up anyways. So there's that. So now I'm going to have to either invest in a luggage cover, something more durable like PVC, or I'm just going to get a cheap pair of luggage and be like, whatever, y'all can throw it around and bash it up. And I mean, I don't know. What are you guys carrying? I'd like to know. What luggage are
This was me a couple of months ago before I started this product now.
Carnival's in the news again. This one's a doozy. Apparently, somebody in California got on the Panorama and drank too much. She fell down the stairs and then couldn't remember what happened the next.
Y'all usually don't talk about cruise ships because I'm not a cruise girly. But this one was so funny to me because how you sue because you drank too much. I digress. Let's go.
We call that blackout. So she sued Carnival, of course, and she won $300,000 because apparently when we're adult and you can drink, it doesn't mean you are responsible for your own actions. If you want to pause and scream, I understand. Carnival employs a 15 drink limit for a reason. It is not a goal to be met. The Cheers drink package is such that you are getting a benefit after 6 drinks. 6! And that's not including all the non-alcoholic options you can have. I'm sure you've seen it already or will see the story. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you feel. As always,
I'll say this. Now that they're sued, they probably have something in the package written in the little fine print that you probably won't get to sue. So if you're going on Carnival, if you're going on one of these cruise destinations, y'all, don't even try it. Don't try it. One person could get away with it. Somebody else might not. Okay? Okay. Let's move on.
Well, a bunch of passengers got kicked off of Frontier Airlines at the Miami International Airport. Gee, I wonder why. He was twerking, by the way.
Okay, if you have flights booked with Spirit from Detroit.
That first one was a Frontier Airlines. We're going to do a whole Karen situation reacting on another day. I don't have the brain power for it because they got so many. Y'all, I digress. Let's go ahead.
To Cancun, your flights are now canceled. This seems like it's the beginning of something with Spirit Airlines. Let me know in the comments if you know or if you've been notified about your flights being canceled already. Okay, if you have...
It's another turbulent twist.
Before we get to the turbulent twist, y'all, let me explain what's going on with Spirit. They were trying to do a liquidation thing that people were rumoring about, them liquidating everything. But Spirit hadn't said anything about it. They said they were trying to do it on the back end, but what Spirit actually did was go ahead and try to get a bailout from the president. And we're still waiting to find out what's going on with that. But in the forefront of all that, the war is going on. There was a potential shooting at the president. It's the airlines, fuel prices. It has just been a lot of everything else. I'm not a news channel, so I'm not going to deep dive. But however, I'm a travel channel, and Key to Travel, we like to do the Key to Travel. So with that being said, there has been a little talk more about the bailout and more talk about the TSA situation, the ICE situation, and everything else situation, but not yet the Spirit situation. And overall, that has Michelle and all has been the Southwest debacle and all that they have been doing that people are not really happy about. So I digress. Let's go ahead and continue to listen to this news.
Passengers already dealing with the double blow of higher airfare and increased bag fees. Airlines slashing routes. Delta, now the latest major carrier to join the list, cutting some flights for 3 months from busy hubs like JFK, Boston, and Detroit. Jet fuel's sky-high jump linked to the conflict in the Middle East appears to be taking a toll at home. Confusion for consumers over costs and routes, as Delta says in part, it routinely adjusts its network as part of its normal planning process and evaluates a range of factors when making these decisions. Tonight, we're learning Lufthansa will cancel 20,000 short-haul flights in a bid to save jet fuel. It comes as low-cost carriers in the United States, like already struggling Spirit, have pleaded for help from the government, with President Trump today calling on a healthier company to buy them. Airline CEOs bracing passengers for a bumpy ride.
I also don't know how long oil prices will take to come. Even if this ends, like, there's a long time to get back to normal.
Oops. There you go. Y'all don't get scared when it comes to, I know I keep clicking in and out, but don't be scared to get y'all ready for y'all summer flying. Get ready, look for flights, check as normal for your rates that you want, your budget that you have. Because things like this will scare you. Let me open up so y'all can see me. Things like that will scare you to not want to fly. Still enjoy life. You can't be scared to live. But yeah, a lot of this is happening right now. We never know what happens tomorrow, the day after, whatever. But live life, y'all. Don't let all this scare you. Just have your plans in place and have your what if, what's not in place. And always be early for your flight. Pay attention because your airlines have to pay you if their flight is canceled. So have a plan part two. Don't be scared to live. Let's go ahead to our next one. Let me cut this off so y'all can hear. La, 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 la. Oops. Here we go. Next.
This is the problem. I just flew in from Houston, Texas to Miami with these bags and same exact bags that I flew in with. Now there's a problem. And because they are measuring my bags, they're saying that I'm having to pay $200 for my bags now. This is not right.
All right, y'all, I have to stop it again. I'm so sorry. But see the Southwest Country, this lady came from where she came from to Miami on vacation with the same bags, and they have no problems when she first got there. But on her way back home, you charge her $400. The same thing they did to that girl that got on her flight, went to her destination. When she got to her destination, she had no destination. She had no issue, y'all. As soon as she came back, they're going to tell her she too fat. They said she was plus size. See, y'all made me go there. They said she was plus size. So she had to pay $400 extra to get on her flight. After her vacation, y'all. Then they had another lady they stopped. She had to pay $500. No rhyme, reason, or nothing, y'all. Just because of what the policy is. And this is what y'all going to do. I said I wasn't going to talk about this plus size policy on this one because we did a whole nother video on it, y'all. But this just triggered me, y'all. The big blue, yellow, and red then triggered me again, y'all. Count your days, and y'all won't mess with Spirit. Y'all fly Spirit. Spirit don't be messing with y'all like that. You know what you pay for. You know what kind of flight you're going to get. You get to your point A to point B. Y'all, they took away y'all free y'all can't even talk them to me. They took away y'all free bags when y'all was flying with them, and then didn't cut prices when they took your bags away to accommodate y'all for paying more for your bags. No, they want your money for your bags plus your regular flights that y'all were paying for, but y'all got still sticking with Southwest. I'm a Southwest flyer. And Southwest is showing y'all. Then they want to pick with the plus size girls. They got to get 2 seats, not the people with the longer legs, not the people. No, then they don't even have on their website what's the sizes to fit in the seats. Let me give you your seat dimensions. Let me tell you, if you can fit, if you can't, here's your hip measurements that you need to have. they'll have a measuring tape at the front where you got your bags, where you can put your bags in the thing. You can step behind put a little bifold thing behind it so they can go back there and measure and see if it fits their criteria. None of that. It's just if somebody see you, they can see it. Just like this man can walk up to this lady and tell her that her bag too big. Well, they have a 62-inch, but somebody else let her go through. You know what? I digress, y'all, because I'm getting mad all over again. I'm going to rewind it and let y'all listen to this, and I'm going to stop going off on these people. But count your days, Southwest. Count your days.
This is the problem. I just flew in from Houston, Texas to Miami with these bags. And same exact bags that I flew in with. Now there's a problem. And because they are measuring my bags, they're saying that I'm having to pay $200 for my bags now. This is not right. Not right at all. Not when I flew into the same airport with the same bags. And so what I'm being told is that there is no other manager on site except for Mr. J here. Jamin Cruz. Jamin Cruz is the only manager on site. What I'm being told is that he apologizes for the situation and that I was able to fly in from Houston to Miami with the bags, but that he had to educate me on what the procedure is, which the procedure he said is 60. Is it 62 inches?
Anything exceeding 62 inches.
Anything exceeding 62 inches is what he's telling me. So because this bag is 64, I need to pay $200 for this bag. And then
now, Southwest, I'm going to cut y'all a little slack on this one because it is in y'all bag policy thingamajiggy. So I'm going to cut y'all a little slack. However, it's 400 your number. It's 400 your number.
what about this bag right here? Another $200? So now they're going to charge me $400 for bags that I came here with. Like, these aren't bags that I purchased after the fact. These are bags that I came here with. And I'm sorry, what is your name, young lady? Yanelli. Yanelli? So that's Jay, and this is Yanelli. So $400. I didn't even pay $400 for my flight through Southwest.
What I'm saying is, before going on, you can go find another airline. Let's keep it going up.
No, I'm going to get my $400 back. Believe that. Yeah, we didn't pay $400 for the flight. We probably could fly Spirit. And maybe they would do the right thing, and maybe they would treat us accordingly.
I've never seen about the American thing at the
Now I'm going to sit up here and watch everybody with an oversized bag and make sure everybody gets paid, charged $200. This is just not right. So like he said, he apologizes. He said that his boss is in Orlando, but his boss cannot be reached at this time. He apologizes, but then we're going to have to pay $400. Which for the Southwest, I've been with Southwest forever. I have a card with them.
Y'all need to leave
and
them alone.
I even have companion pass.
Leave Southwest. You know what? I'm not going to say that because some people love Southwest. Shout out to Southwest. I will fly the big yellow and black before I fly Southwest. I didn't have so many bad experiences with Southwest. And now they got the plus size, but girl, you know what? Even though I don't need an extender right now, you know what? I'm talking that before I go have dinner tonight. So you know what? I'm gonna be quiet and shut my mouth. But I digress. Let's go, y'all. I can't see no more. I can't see that even sign, y'all. Let's go.
If you sit down, push.
A travel warning for 2026. Rules have changed for the new year, and these are things you need to know so you do not get stuck, especially at the airport. The last one is one that's catching everybody off guard. They have just announced. So let's jump in, especially during the winter travel time when we're seeing more delays. New rules say that if your flight is delayed more than 3 hours, if it's a U.S. flight, or 6 hours if you're flying internationally, you can get your money back cash, not a voucher, not a credit. So be sure to check your airline. And if you want to cancel that flight because of delays, you are allowed cash. Number 2, we are seeing gates, you know how they'll stay open and maybe you can rush on and you're rushing through. They are closing earlier than ever. Every airline has changed a little bit, so be sure to check your airline. So maybe gates that stayed open a half hour before the flight, maybe they're closing 15 minutes before. Be sure to check because a lot of people are being caught off guard and they're closing earlier than ever. Every airline has changed a little bit, so be sure to check your airline. So maybe gates that stayed open a half hour before the flight, maybe they're closing 15 minutes before. Be sure to check because a lot of people are being caught off guard and they're not making their flight. Now, I told you about one that people they don't even really know about yet. And this one is huge. And then the last one is one that caught me off guard. The Real ID. I know we've talked about it.
Well, I know my key to travelers know about the Real ID. I didn't snatch it in y'all here. But y'all, let's talk about this 15, went from 30 minutes to 15 minutes with the doors closing before, your flight or whatever. I mean, from 15 to 30 minutes, yeah. Some of them 45. But let's talk about this real quick, y'all. And I'm not gonna ramble because y'all know your girl can ramble, but I'm not gonna ramble. I'm gonna go ahead, remove her, and I'm gonna tell you what some of my clients were saying. Some of my clients, y'all, they bring their carry-ons, they TSA pre-check, and they get to the airport 15 minutes prior, right? 15 minutes prior to their flight, right? And they think they can run through TSA, right? With their cards and with their IDs and their ticket on their phone, run through, scan, and run through about their business, right? Well, let me give y'all a little hee ha ha. If you do that, right? I don't like this my nail. If you do that, right? And you get to your flight, so many have been missing flights, y'all, because you're thinking you're just going to run in and get through. First of all, y'all see these lines? That's first and foremost, right? Y'all see these lines. These lines are ridiculously long right now, okay? So even if you get there late, right, and you run, your gate is closed and your flight is gone. Even if they're sitting on the runway, they're not opening their gate for you, okay? So they do their thing, right? And then they do their last call, right? And if the lines are moving faster than normal, right? And they get to their last person, say the flight is not full, right? And these gate agents have been moving, y'all. They have been, let's take zone one. Zone one, I'd be like number 3 in zone 1, right? No, first they do military, wheelchairs. Okay, soon as the first wheelchair get in, okay, let's line up for zone 1. All right, 3 people in zone 1 come out, and they say, okay, let's line up for zone 2, and they just running. Come on through, just swipe your stuff. Okay, let's go ahead, zone 3 and zone 4, swipe your stuff. Okay, zone 5 and 6. Time they get to the person, almost at the end, last call for flight number, yada, yada, yada. When the last person coming in, because I remember I was supposed to be in zone 1. I ran to the restroom because I don't use plane yet. If y'all didn't see that story time, y'all didn't see it. I ran to the restroom and they had just called for the people with the wheelchairs and stuff. I ran to the restroom. Hubby stayed and waited for me. The time I got back from the restroom, which was across the hall from it, I got back over there. They had no line, no nothing, y'all. I ran in, ran out, washed my hands, everything, ran out. The time I got back to it, they were on last call for flight number, yada, yada, yada. And hubby was telling me, hold on, ma'am. My wife is, well, if she's not here, we do a last call. We're going to wait 2 more minutes. Last call. I ran back over there. I said, wait a minute, where everybody went? We in zone 1. What happened? I thought I was going to make it here at least by zone 2. It was like, no, they ran them people through here. I mean, seriously, ran them through. I was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, let's go. He had all our bags and stuff, and he was standing by the thing telling this lady, just wait. And she like, last call. And I'm like, how are these people? It wasn't a full flight. Nevertheless, it didn't. But about time, I mean, literally, when I got back into the line, I was like, into the airplane. Literally looked like everybody was just standing up. The runway, they were coming out of the jet bridge because she was moving that fast. That time she scanned our ticket, we standing there. Literally, I got through the door. We got through the door when they standing, and the line was there because everybody was still trying to get in. When we did get in, when they was finally telling the flight attendants, telling people, just get out the aisle, let people through, just get out the aisle, because they had just been standing there. Literally, I got in there because my seat, I think, we were on row 1. When I got there to sit down, literally the people next to me was just putting their stuff in because they had rushed everybody in. People were still standing up, trying to put their bags in, trying to do this. So we still in leave before they closed up everything for another 15, 20 minutes because people were still trying to get themselves organized. By the time we got back then, we was the last one in there when she was doing last call. So where we got settled or whatever, I stood up to look back, and I seen people still trying to find places to put their bags. Flight attendants running around saying, wait a minute, no, that's not your seat. You're supposed to sit here and this and that. It was a lot going on because the gate agent ran so fast to put everybody through. It was ridiculous. But I digress, y'all. I'm holding y'all up. Let's go ahead and finish with our reactions.
Carry-on bag will not make the new 2026 requirements. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, and also a warning if you're trying to buy a new carry-on bag that I've run into and have heard from a lot of you. So many carry-on bags that used to get through fine are now getting pulled, gate checked, and you're being charged, especially hardcover bags. Here's what's happening with U.S. airlines and international airlines. For many years, they have said the measurements have to include the wheels and the handles, but it wasn't really enforced until now. With 2026, the new luggage rules, they are enforcing them more than ever. A lot of places who have sold carry-on bags that are still advertising them as carry-ons are not including the handle and the wheels. So they're getting pulled now in 2026, and it's costing a lot of people time and money. What you want to do is get an old-fashioned ruler, put your luggage standing up, put it on the ground, all the way to that top handle that you pick up, and see. For U.S. airlines, one of the ones that's most often used for sizes is 22 by 14 by 9. That's for 5 U.S. airlines: Delta, United, JetBlue, Alaska.
Unless you're a U.S. citizen or green card holder, do not go anywhere near an airport in the United States right now. President Trump announced that ICE will be taking over for TSA. TSA isn't being paid due to the government shutdown. Tom Homan, who is the director of ICE, was on TV saying that ICE agents are going to be at all entrances and exits of the airport. So essentially, they're going to be conducting an immigration checkpoint. They're going to be looking at IDs, going over statuses, and detaining people that are out of status. And out of status means a lot of different things. It could mean that you never had a status. It could mean that you came on a tourist visa, you applied for asylum, and you're waiting on your asylum interview. ICE can still detain you. Even people that are married to a U.S. citizen and they're waiting for the interview, they could also be detained by ICE. So do not fly. Don't pick up friends or family. If you're an Uber driver, don't go to the airport to pick people up.
Now with the Uber thing, y'all, they're not coming outside to check Uber drivers to see if you are a citizen. They're not doing it. They're not messing with Uber drivers, y'all. Don't be scared about that. What they are checking, if you come into the airport and you bring somebody in, which I don't like, y'all. They're going back to this. If you look like, to me, that is stereotyping, and I don't like that, right? So yeah, if you don't seem like you are a citizen, which is gross of all things, right? Then they can ask you for your paperwork or whatever. So make sure you have your paperwork and your documentation with you, even if you are bringing somebody else to the airport and you're not going yourself. Just be very aware, have all your paperwork, all your documents, and I just don't like that, y'all. But I'm not a news channel. I am a travel channel, and I'm just bringing some travel information, travel news. We talk about everything travel over here with a little bit of lifestyle, y'all. So I'm not going to deep dive into the political realm of all of this. I'm not going to deep dive into what I believe should and should not be affected by this. The only thing I deep dive into when it comes to the news is Southwest. No, just one. It's anything news, but I try to stay away from the political part of it. So if you want to have a political argument about it in the comments, y'all can do that. I might heart everything because that's what I do. That doesn't mean I agree. I'm just hearting everybody's because I have seen that on some of my shorts that I post, that people thinking that I'm agreeing one way and not agreeing the other way, and I heart both. So everybody's confused. I am a Gemini, so I stay on the fence. Okay, so I'm not doing a political rigmarole. So if y'all want to have a political argument at the bottom, knock it down in the comments. So let's go ahead and continue.
Or if you're at work at the airport, or you're like a delivery driver or something to the airport, now it's not a good time.
The Trump administration is planning on adding 36 additional countries to the travel ban list. These are largely African countries, 25.
All right, let me stop y'all again, y'all. I'm not going to keep stopping. I know I'm reacting, but I'm not going to keep stopping. But this is for if you're going to these countries. Not if you're going to these countries. If you're a U.S. citizen and you're going to these countries, you're fine. It's the people that's coming from those countries that are having issues, and it's all because their country has not updated their system, because they can just let anybody come over that don't have their documentation correctly, don't have the paperwork correctly, and what they're trying to do is stop immigrants from coming here and getting stuck here and having the same issues that they would have not having their paperwork and ICE having to detain them and stuff like that. Because when they come over here, if the paperwork is not correct, when you try to go back home, then you're getting detained because everything is not correct for you being here in the first place. So what they're trying to get them to do is make sure all the computer work is correct, all the paperwork is correct, so when they come over here, they can get back home safely. And that's why, and with these countries not having those things in place, then that's why they are banning those countries for coming here in the States. But you can go over there, you can come back as long as your paperwork is correct. Okay.
5 of them are African countries, friends. Some Caribbean countries are on this list in addition to Middle Eastern countries. The list includes countries like Angola, Antigua, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Egypt, Gambia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Niger, Nigeria, St. Lucia, Senegal, Syria, Tanzania, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and others. According to a memo that Marco Rubio sent on Saturday to U.S. diplomats in these countries, they will be given 60 days by which to meet new benchmarks that the State Department is given to them, because some countries had no competent or cooperative central government authority to produce reliable identity documents or other civil documents. For others, it's because of widespread government fraud. And then others had issues. The Trump administration is planning on adding 36 additional countries to the travel ban list. These are largely African countries. 25 of them are African countries, friends. Some Caribbean countries are on this list in addition to Middle Eastern countries. The list includes countries like Angola, Antigua, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia.
TSA is cooperating with ICE by providing traveler information to ICE each week to determine who has a removal order so that ICE can arrest those individuals at U.S. airports. According to New York Times, the Trump administration is providing the names of all air travelers to immigration officials, substantially expanding its use of data sharing to expel people under deportation orders. Multiple times a week, TSA provides traveler information to Homeland Security, to ICE, I should say, so that ICE can run those individuals through their database to determine who already has a removal order. Once they determine who has a removal order, they then show up at the airport to arrest that individual. You guys heard the story of that college student who was traveling from Boston to Texas to surprise her father for Thanksgiving, but 2 days later she was deported to Honduras because she was arrested at the airport by ICE. Now we know exactly what's going on, and TSA is cooperating with ICE
regarding Spirit Airlines, the budget airline that was going through.
Okay, y'all, let's go talk about this young lady here that was sent back to her country. She was sent back to her country because her family didn't have their stuff together to have her stuff together. So yeah, and that's why you have to have all your paperwork in order. And if you're not sure if it's in order, contact your local agencies just to make sure you're in order, y'all. That's the whole thing. But I think her stuff is actually being worked out and taken care of, y'all. I'm sorry I played that other one too many times, but it wasn't going over. But let's go.
All right, guys, we have some breaking
Wait,
news.
wait, wait. No.
Regarding Spirit Airlines, the budget airline that was going through bankruptcy, and their bankruptcy has been turned upside down by this war in Iran and the surging fuel costs, according to a new report from CBS. Over the weekend, they're saying budget airlines reached out to the Trump administration and formally requested a bailout. And this comes as they were planning to exit bankruptcy by this summer, but they are not able to do that now because their projected cost of fuel is higher than the amount of cash they have in the bank. This means that Spirit Airlines could have to liquidate, and they're saying possibly as soon as this week, according to CNN. They just said this on their broadcast. Guys, if they go under, this would have what they call the Spirit Airlines effect, meaning it's going to affect other airlines and air travel costs, because in the markets they compete in, it will cause more competition. There'll be less flights if they have to liquidate, putting more pressure and strain on the other airlines. So this could have an overall impact on air travel altogether. And guys, we're not even sure if Spirit is the only one looking to do this right now. There could be other airlines.
Hello.
So we'll see what happens regarding Spirit Airlines, the budget airline that was going through.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, let me turn my mic back on. Y'all keep turning it off. I'm sorry. But that's what I'm saying. If Spirit's doing it, you don't know who else is doing it right now because of the gas prices, y'all. So, like I said, don't be scared to travel. Just be prepared. Let's go on to our next one.
All right, guys, we have some breaking news. Every single flight at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport has been grounded. This all started at around 10:40 a.m.
Let me stop it. I downloaded this one the other day on the 20th when it's happened last month because I didn't know what was going on, and I went ahead and these are all for my shorts. If y'all want to know how I react, they're on my shorts that I upload on my shorts. You can go ahead and look at them, but that's what I react from. Okay, so this is what happened here is their computer systems had a malfunction, and that's why they had to ground everything, because without the computers, we can't seem to work. But anywho, that's what happened. I digress. So let's go ahead and that's what he's telling you, why it was all grounded. But we're going to go ahead and skip it because it's all back working. Everything is good. But that's why they were grounded, y'all. So let's go ahead.
On April 20th, 2026, Dubai International Airport is experiencing unusually high passenger traffic, along with operational and regional factors.
Now, the reason this all happened, y'all, is, of course, because of the war in the Middle East. And it was a lot of unknowns. Some things had happened really close to Dubai. People were scared. A lot of things was unknown, uncertainty. And that's why that happened. But now Dubai is up running and everything is all good.
And don't think I forgot about you, Southwest. For the last year, Southwest has been preparing us for the changes that they will be making. The bag fee and assigned seating, that was announced with a full CEO press release, dedicated marketing campaigns. But the customer of size policy changes, quietly buried. Just whispers at the gate. Plus size people have no problem with the idea of the policy. Hey, you need 2 seats, you get 2 seats. There are 3 things wrong here. Let's break it down. 1, nobody knows what the rules are.
Y'all, I'm not going to deep dive in this rabbit hole again because we did a whole video on them people called Southwest. So I'm not gonna deep dive into it again, y'all, because they're gonna make me mad. They already made me mad behind charging that lady $400 for her bags, and she had already flew with them and didn't have to charge them before, but then somebody else charged them before. Child bye. But then this plus size policy had me mad. But I'm not gonna deep dive into it. If y'all want to see how I felt about it and I discussed it all, go ahead and check out that reaction of Southwest. But we gonna move on and we gonna digress. She just snatched my soul when I watched it, y'all, and I told y'all all about that in our last video last week. So while we talking about that, we're not gonna go back into that rabbit hole. We're gonna move right along before I get mad. All right, my computer won't let me move on because they must want me to talk about it, and I'm not. I refuse.
If you're traveling in 2020,
Not that one. I was having another move back. If y'all want to see all these shorts, I was actually.
Hey everybody, Joanne here. So the TSA has abruptly banned seven items from carry-on luggage moving forward. Now, if you're not following me already, be sure to hit the follow button and follow me for all travel tips, guidance, and my expertise. Here we go. Loose lithium batteries. I did a whole video a couple weeks ago on batteries and charging items for phones, etc. Number 2, replica toy guns or weapons. This includes water guns. So it's summer. Keep your water guns in your checked luggage. Alcohol over 140 proof. Don't even bother trying that. Put it in your checked luggage. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries. So make sure your luggage has removable batteries, that anything you're bringing onto the aircraft. Number 5, wrapped gifts. Do not wrap your gift before you go. Wrap it when you get there. So your paper, your tape, whatever you have to do for wrapping gifts, do it once you arrive. Loose razor blades, disposable razor blades are totally fine, but loose blades, absolutely not. That should have, I can't believe that's not been banned before. And food over 3.4 ounces. I'm always asked, what is my source? Because people don't want to believe these things happen. Go to msn.com where the article was.
Y'all, people been fighting me in the comments about this list. It was on MSN Travel News. They were giving the update because every year the airlines have to, TSA has to give a list of what is banned from them. Now, these things, people are saying, that's been banned, that's been, what are y'all talking about? That's been done, that's been done. However, some of those things wasn't specific. They just said razor blades. They didn't say detachable, whatever, right? So they did a whole new list. So I have to add it to break it down a little further, which, you know, most of it, like they said, are common sense, but they did relist it. So step off, y'all. Ooh.
Y'all, I have There's new hope this afternoon for Australians heading overseas. Qatar Airways has announced it will resume flights to the Middle East. From next month, passengers will be able to fly from Brisbane and from Adelaide in June. The airline joins Emirates, which is now offering flights to the region from the 1st of May. It's a positive sign. Tensions in the Middle East may be starting to ease.
Y'all, that is serious, right? So that means maybe you know what, we a travel channel. You can fly. We're not gonna deep dive.
Spirit says it is operating as scheduled today. The airline tells us they are still selling tickets, taking reservations, but we are learning that at least some of the airline's creditors may have some real concerns.
Aaron and Danielle Katzoff rely on Spirit Airlines and its low fares for their monthly work travel trip.
Y'all, we gonna hope Spirit gets this bailout. But this was before the whole bailout thing. This was when they were supposed to be liquidating their stuff behind the scenes. But what they were actually doing is getting a list of everything so they can ask for the bailout. So they knew what to. So when you go, when companies go to ask for bailouts, you have to have a reason, a rhyme. You have to have all the information, right? You just can't say, you know what, I don't have to pay my bills, so I just need help. You know, you have to show what you have going on. So that's why people thought they were liquidating to actually ground everything and just stop, you know, just all of a sudden willy-nilly. Because if you go on Spirit, you'll see after June, I think, or June or September, or July, or September, one of those months, they stopped selling flights, right? They no longer have openings for anything, right? So everybody was like, "Oh, if you have a flight, if you have it with Spirit, you have to." No, what Spirit was doing, they was trying to get their bailout at that time, so people didn't know what was going on. So again, do not be scared to fly. Do not be scared to book your flights. Do not be scared and saying, "Oh my goodness, they're gonna cancel me." You will get your money back. You will be refunded. You can find another flight. There are other alternatives. Just have your plan A, a plan B, a plan C. That's all. Okay? Spirit, I don't think they're going anywhere. I just think, for the most part, Spirit is just trying to get their bailout. Like other people that's, on the hush hush about it. But I digress.
United Airlines CEO, his name is Scott Kirby, pitched the idea, think about this, of merging American Airlines and United, in a meeting with President Trump back in February. What are you hearing about this, and how likely is it to happen, do you think?
About as likely as me being cast as a lead in Ghosts next season. It would face enormous scrutiny in order, it's highly unlikely to happen because the combined airline would be about half the U.S. airline industry. So they would have to show that would not.
Just so y'all can know, United doesn't just own United, okay? They have a lot of other sister airlines that are affiliated with them, same as American, right? So if they merge, they take on majority of a lot of smaller airlines that people don't know are in cahoots with them, right? Or that are like, they're like the parent companies and they have a lot of little companies, right? So if they did that, it would be a whole thing. And I don't think the government will allow that to happen. And that's why he said, and I'll be, running for Miss America size 2. But I digress.
Don't come to Dubai. Just don't come to Dubai. It's not safe. Dubai is dead. Dubai will never recover. Meanwhile,
if you want to know what it's like traveling.
Dubai Daily Update is Friday the 10th of April at 5 p.m. and good news, yesterday, zero across the board. Things are looking back to normal. You haters, you're going to dislike what you're looking at now. The beach is thriving, the sun is out, the beach is full. I'm telling you, we're on the road to recovery, but we're not naive. We know things can change in an instant, but don't be neggy, have a look. It looks like the paradise is back. So if you're coming on holiday, get out here inside Dubai Garden.
Over 100 people were stranded in Milan after an EasyJet flight to Manchester left without them on Sunday. Passengers had to queue for hours over the weekend at Milan's Linate airport because of new EU border control checks.
We've got people vomiting in the queue because they've been stood in the heat for so long.
We've had to pay £900 total for another flight tomorrow, but that means sleeping at the airport tonight. I did contact EasyJet and they said that they could offer us £12.25 compensation, but we've bought food and drinks and that doesn't even cover what we've had to pay.
My wife had to sit on the floor for a while. Babies, there's a pregnant woman in the queue. It was just awful.
EasyJet apologised but said the queues were out of their control. They advised passengers to leave more time than usual for the checks. Over 100 people were stranded in Milan after an...
Tomorrow's April 10th. Europe's new biometric border system goes live. If you're flying to Europe anytime this year, this is your last reminder.
Now, this is why that whole debacle happened, y'all. And she's going to explain it a little bit, but I'm going to let you know this, okay? Make sure your paperwork is in order. Make sure your passports are good. And make sure you pack your patience. Okay, let's go.
Tomorrow, every American entering any of the 29 Schengen countries has to give their fingerprints and a facial scan at the border. No exceptions, no opting out. Here's your checklist before you fly. Number 1, arrive at the airport early. Brussels is already reporting 2-hour waits on arrival. Number 2, check your passport for the gold camera symbol on the cover. That means it's biometric. If it doesn't have it, you're going to go to the manual line and it's going to take even longer. Number 3, do not book tight layovers through Paris, Frankfurt, or Amsterdam this summer. Give yourself breathing room. This is not meant to scare you. Europe is still beautiful and absolutely worth going. You just need to go prepared, and now you are. And if all of this is making Southeast Asia sound really good right now, comment Bloom.
Y'all, like I said, always pack your patience, be aware, get your information. If you need some information, holler at your girl. If you want to find another agent or agents that, deal with this type of travel agents, just make sure, you lock in. You know what I'm saying? Because we here to help, y'all. We here to help. Let's go.
If you're heading to the airport, you may want to pack light. It's Wednesday, April 8th. I'm Sydney Simone, and I'm back with a quick airport update. This time, I'm not talking about TSA. I'm talking about the airlines. Today, Delta announced an increase for checked bags. So your first and second bag are going to increase by $10. That third bag will increase by $50. So that means $45 for the first, $55 for the second, $200 for your third bag. Now, Delta isn't the only airline to do this. United, Southwest, JetBlue have all recently announced check bag fee increases due to the higher fuel costs amid the war in Iran. Now, for those wondering how to avoid or get around the fee, check with your credit card company. I do know that American Express will waive your first checked bag fee if you book with a credit card. The other alternative, pack light and pack your patience.
We have some big news right now. If you're flying, listen up.
That's what I just said, y'all. Pack your patience. Pack your patience. Y'all don't be running in the airport late, man, because you can't, because your bag too big. Or you know what I'm saying? Just pack your patience. Be prepared. Know what you're dealing with, right? And if you pack your patience and you so cool, when it's time to go and check into your flight and things go wrong, you just so cool. Then it makes it go better. You know what I mean? I digress. Let's go.
Because not only is ICE going to be stationed at airports across the country, but according to Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar, who appeared on television today, ICE could theoretically begin checking people's identification before they get to the TSA checkpoint. That's what he said. So essentially what he's claiming is that anyone entering an airport could now be subject to a possible verification screening of sorts from ICE agents patrolling the area. They're not going to be conducting screenings of bags coming through x-ray machines, for example. But what he's saying is that, say a loved one, a family member of someone flying is undocumented and walks them and helps them with their bag, they could theoretically be stopped by ICE and asked for identification and screened, even if they're never getting on a plane in the first place. That is serious, and that's a major update that I think a lot of people need to be aware of, especially if they're flying in the next several weeks. So spread the word. And I'll have more updates for you very soon. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. We have
actions.
Can Fat Girls still do Southwest Airlines? Yes, but they just changed.
Y'all, I told y'all I wasn't going down this rabbit hole. But if y'all want to know where I get all my videos when I react, they're on my shorts. This is my shorts that you're watching, y'all. So if y'all want to know where I get my videos, this is where I get it. But I did this video already, but I'm going to go ahead just a little smidget.
Their customer size policy. There's no more free extra seat up front. If you need space, you have to buy it when you book. Don't wait. Under the new 2026 rules, if the flight...
Y'all, like I said, I talked about it in my in my reacting to Southwest Count Your Days. Let's go ahead and move on.
If you can't comfortably fit in the seats, meaning you need a seatbelt extender, or you...
Yeah, how come you're pointing me out of everybody else when there's women that are bigger than me? There's women bigger than me. There's women bigger than me. Look at this. This is crazy.
Thank you for choosing Southwest Airlines for your travel today. We'll be departing.
She had a little spillage. You know I'm serious.
Coming to you today with a travel advisory for Italy. The State Department recently raised the threat level for U.S. citizens traveling to Italy to a level 2. And that equals, in the scale, exercise increased caution. And I don't know if everyone knows this, but the State Department ranks all countries on a scale of 1 to 4. 4 is exercise normal procedures, all the way up to number 4, which is do not travel. So Italy's setting today, as of last week, I should say, at a level 2. There are some other countries around the world in Europe that we travel very frequently to that are considered number 2 levels as well. So why they're doing this is there's been reports of possible terrorism in locations such as tourist spots, shopping malls, places of worship, restaurants, sporting and cultural events. So anywhere you would be if you were going to Italy. So they're asking you to take extra precaution when you are traveling. This is not a message to say reconsider travel. That would be a number 3 level, but this is a level 2. Just be a little bit more cognizant of what's happening behind you. I always recommend going to the travel.state.gov website and reading all of the information. Every country has a sheet that you can read about the health issues that are going on, government, anything happening with the government that's needed, terrorism, etc. You really should download that. Also, you should register your trip with the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, the STEP trip, and make sure that you are putting in the consulate information into your phone when you are traveling in the event that there is an issue. Coming to you today.
We cannot leave. They said it's going to be 2 days before we can get back.
This is a random.
We got good news and bad news. Good news for those TSA lines is that President Trump has gone ahead and signed an executive order that will allow TSA agents to be paid. This is not using anything.
That was for them to get paid their 7-week pay, their 7th pay. But they did that, and now they're trying to see if they're going to get paid again, y'all. But we digress, okay?
Absolutely, and we now know, Cheryl, that...
So tracking the TSA's longest wait times.
I'm going to go ahead and react to it. I wasn't going to react to the Tyler Perry thing because... it was, he was doing it at the airport, and government agents cannot take money when they're working from anybody, but there was a better way to do this, but I understand why he did it. So we're going to go ahead and watch.
Absolutely. And we now know, Cheryl, that Tyler Perry, you may have heard of him. Well, he was here this morning. We now can confirm that he was attempting to pass out a substantial amount of money to TSA agents to help them cover, daycare, the bills that they have to pay. And right now we know they are not getting a paycheck. But unfortunately, because of federal rules and regulations, he was not able to do so because they're not allowed to accept gifts while they're here on the job. But it just shows that people care and they're trying to do what they can to help out our TSA agents here in Atlanta. We're giving you a live look now here at the lines this morning, much different from earlier. But we do want to go ahead and mention that in the last 15 minutes, we have noticed that up there, way up there.
So tracking the TSA's longest wait times across the U.S. here. Again, major areas that are having issues are Houston, Atlanta, New Orleans, Fort Lauderdale, Austin, Philadelphia, and the Chicago regions in there.
And last shout out, as of today, April 26th, the lines are actually much, 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 much better once they got paid that last pay. And then there is ICE at the airport, not checking bags or anything, but pretty much helping with screening processes. But yeah, so shout out to April 26th. The lines are not as bad, but listen, y'all, still get to the airport early and carry your patients. Let's go.
Absolute disaster today. And if you do not need to travel in the U.S. this week, please cancel your trip. This isn't even taking into account the tragic.
Now that's March 25th, y'all. This was a whole month ago. A lot of things may have changed as of today. When I do this video, a lot of things might have changed. But like I said, I did want to add all the clips that I have been uploading on my shorts to talk about when we do our
absolute disaster today. And if you do
when we do our reactions, right? We like to react to everything. We don't want to leave anybody unturned. Let me make sure that there was not one that we missed. But the travel airlines was just crazy. Let me back up. Okay, there was one more. I'm sorry, y'all, that I did want to. I had to find it. That I did want to play before I shut it down for the day. Let's go ahead and watch. Let me add her to it, and let me back her up, and let's play.
I'm a green card holder. Can I travel? I think I've made 3 videos about this, and I get calls about it every day. And here's the answer, you guys. Yes, you can travel. So as a green card holder, you are allowed to leave the United States and come back without any issues. Some people are concerned because they're born in one of the countries that's part of Trump's travel ban. This will not have any effect on you. Some people are concerned of traveling to these countries. If you have a green card, you are allowed to travel to one of those countries. The only time that you have something to worry about as a green card holder is if you have a criminal conviction or you've been outside of the United States for more than 6 months. Other than these 2, you are allowed to travel.
Dun, da, da. There you go, y'all. It's about getting your information, doing your research, or finding a travel professional to find out the information for you. If you want to hit me up, I got my email address in one of these videos. You can find it. I might upload it in this one. But yeah, you can hit us up, get the information. We can give you the information. Just if you want to make sure, your documents are in order, contact your local government agency to help you out. Even if you want to find out for somebody else, I digress. You want to, get that information, just to make sure you can do that. But you can travel as long as your documentation is up to par and up to code. You are fine. And with that being said,